No Simple Road is stoked to have Sunset Lake CBD back with us as our sponsor. Sunset Lake is the real deal. If you've looked around trying to find CBD and it just didn't do what it was supposed to do, this is the place you need to go. They've got every kind of product you can imagine, including CBD tinctures with sleep gummies that are great for getting to bed, CBD gummy bears and reishi-infused chews that can help bring you a little bit of calm in a stressful day. They've got salve. They've got smokable hemp flower that's great for folks like me that don't want to get stoned and paranoid but want to have the benefits of cannabis. Well, now you got it. And they even carry CBD products for your pets, man. I'm saying this is Darwin approved stuff. Go over to sunsetlakecbd.com and check out the full range of what they have. This is Vermont grown, right to your door, and they're giving you 20% off. So put in the promo code NSR20 when you're checking out. You're going to get 20% off your whole order. And I know you're going to love it. They even have subscription options open for you, so you don't forget to get your medicine. Go check out Sunset Lake CBD, everybody. You should go over to Shop Tour Bus, man.
Why?
Because they have new designs.
What?
I said so.
They come out with designs so quick.
They do. They got a Tennessee Jed. They have a dire wolf. I think out of all the newer ones that they've done, I think the dire wolf is
Queen of Spades, yeah, that is beautiful.
They cut the deck to the Queen of Spades, but the cards were all the same. But the shirts aren't all the same. Go to shoptourbus.com and check out what they got going on over there. They have the Digital Lots dopest Grateful Dead inspired merch on the planet, man.
And the most comfortable tees as well.
Yep. And
so are their hoodies. I got their hoodie on right now.
You actually do.
Yes, I do.
True.
My love's bigger than a Cadillac.
Truth and advertising is happening on No Simple Road right now. Go over to Shop Tour Bus and order yourself something. And when you do, use the promo code No Simple Road because they're going to give you free shipping.
All one word.
And you might even get a Miracle Grateful Dead cassette tape bootleg in your order. You don't know unless you go. Well, I guess you don't have to go. You won't.
Well, you'll
get
go
it
to their
unless
website.
You order it.
Yeah, you got to go to the Digital Lot.
That's right. ShopTourBus.com. Go check it out.
No Simple Road. Yeah, here we go.
Simple road. Where we're going, we are No Simple Road.
We don't need a road.
No, we do. It's not just not a simple one. Hey, now it's Aaron, everybody. What's happening, No Simple Road family?
It's Apple.
And it's me, Mel.
And we're back in the studio. Mel and I made it back.
We're back from Mexico, from sunny, delicious 80-degree Mexico.
I can attest to this. They made it back safely, and it's good to have them home. And Darwin is elated. It's just so
Darby.
happy. He missed you guys so much.
I don't know that I am completely back. I'm probably 80% back.
Well, you're physically back.
Yeah, my body is back from Mexico.
Yeah,
for sure.
The mental and part of the physical is still catching up.
Dude.
I'm back. I'm back.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back
I'm
in
back.
effect.
I mean, I will say I'm 90%.
Okay. It feels very strange to be in the studio doing this right now, honestly. It was
it did feel
you said
weird.
You said earlier today, you're like, it seems like a month. You're like, we need to record tonight. And I was like, yeah, I know. You're like, it seems like it's been a month or so.
It's been like a week and a half.
You were like, Mel, we need to play podcast tonight. And I was like, that's exactly what it feels like.
Totally did. Yeah, man. Yeah. So this week's guest on No Simple Road,
our homeboys,
is the world famous Spunj.
Sponge.
We love you, Sponge. They are embarking on a tour, Apple. Tell folks.
This is very exciting for us and for them and for all of you. They are doing their first national tour.
What?
Yep, you are hearing this on the day they start, March 1st. They are starting in Nevada City. And what you need to do is just go over on Instagram. It's @_Spunj,
with a J.
SPUNJ. And check out where they're going to be because they are hitting 7 dates in California. Then they're heading to 3 dates in Arizona. They're hitting Colorado, and then they hit the East Coast. Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, New York again, Pennsylvania, and then they start heading back home for some special dates in Bozeman and Missoula, Montana.
So I'm calling Sax, and I'm calling out to Long Strange Putt and the Dog Pound on the East Coast.
right.
They're going to be all around you.
Go support the boys.
Our PNW homeboys out there.
And
Spunj.
also, they have something special today, a new release, a new single, See Into You, March 1st. So
it's out on all the streaming platforms. We don't have a copy of it yet, but you can go listen to it right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
They need those streams.
And check that out.
And you know what? I think in honor of Spunj's first national tour,
yeah,
let's give him a round of applause. Boys. Here for Spunj.
We're proud of you. Also, we're stoked because anytime we get boys inside the studio, it's always a fun time, and you will all hear the laughter and the fun that we had
This
with
was
this
a good
interview.
time. And for those of you keeping score with the No Simple Road home game, Mel and I will be giving you a full report on our journey to Fish Mexico and everything that ensued and took place down there. So keep your scorecards ready because
So the memories are coming back.
I don't know.
The memories are returning because you got home. You're like, we don't know what happened. They slept for 4 days.
Well, it's Thursday evening right now. Mel and I arrived home late Monday night. I seriously haven't left the couch other than to do work for a little while in the afternoon.
You played work for a little while.
I did. It's been a difficult reentry, as they say.
Okay. You got
No.
What are we
Mondays,
doing? Oh,
No
okay.
Simple Road, weekly
you
rewind.
started. Well, how am I supposed to know?
I just said.
How am I supposed to know?
I'm telling you now.
Yeah, if you don't know, now you know.
Now you know.
Now I'm really gonna forget everything.
Now you have to tune into the rewind on Monday to hear the whole story.
To hear what you say.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what's going to go down. But yeah, that we made it back, and thank you to everybody that hung out with us and high-fived us and that we saw down there. And yeah, it was super fun. And so
stop talking about it.
No.
It's for Monday.
Also, I just
doing
I'll do it again, but special shout out to Sean and Andrew and Meg
and Jordan
for keeping an eye
yeah.
on Grandma and Grandpa, making sure they were okay
They
while they were
did.
down in Mexico.
Grandpa almost died.
Yeah. Stop talking about Mexico, Aaron.
Hey, Apple started
Otherwise,
it.
I'm gonna just spill the beans, and I'm not gonna say one thing on Monday.
And then Spunj is going to be like, they overdid our episode with Mexico.
No, they would
fish
never
talk.
say that. They're gonna be like, dude, we love No Simple Road. But
Anyway.
also, congratulations to Spunj and our other homies, Bodie Mojo, for selling out the Goodfoot on the Goodfoot's anniversary.
That was pretty dope.
That was
Yeah.
awesome, and it was a kick-ass night. We wish we could have been there, but we can't be everywhere.
No.
We cannot be everywhere.
I actually can't be anywhere right now. Apple, how was Banshee Tree and Yak Attack?
Banshee Tree and Yak Attack was amazing. And I also got to hang out with Sage from Spunj that night, and I had a great hangout. We were on the dance floor for a little while together.
Did you twirl each other lovingly?
Banshee, yeah, we did.
Good.
Yeah, we got
Right
down.
on.
We had some face off,
Ooh,
throwing it at each other and stuff. And,
dance fights.
but it was amazing. Banshee Tree they just keep getting more and more like psychedelic.
Ooh,
and
really?
Tom on the guitar, Nick on that violin is so wicked, and the lighting game. I saw Blake.
Chase didn't Chase hook it up?
Chase was there. Yeah, I asked Blake. I was like, "Did you get more lighting?" He's like, "I might have to now because Yak Attack brought a bunch more lighting with them, and that place is already amazing, and the light show is just mind blowing.
Really?
for that little place.
I'm sorry I missed the light show there.
Yeah,
That
and
is interesting.
And they did a little thing. Banshee Tree played. Dave came out from Yak Attack, joined on keyboard, which keyboard added to what Banshee Tree does.
Oh,
With
yeah.
Dave playing was
What?
amazing. Then they took a break. Then Yak Attack came on and brought the dance party. I didn't even get any video footage of Yak Attack because it was just the
You're too
floor
busy
was
dancing.
Yeah, everybody was all over the place. And then at the end, both bands came out on stage. They had both drum kits up there.
What?
And they did a whole collab with both bands. So
Oh,
they did it
man.
properly.
Whatever,
Right
dude.
on.
I don't care.
Well, yeah, you were seeing some.
I'm not jealous.
Some weird band in Mexico or
Yeah,
something.
it's like a
Oh, no,
mariachi
all right.
thing going on.
It was like a one-off
I
kind
can't
of
talk
a thing.
about it right now, though.
Yeah, that's later.
Anyway, should we get the folks to this week's episode of No Simple
do a
Road
little
with
business
Spunj in the
and-
studio?
Yeah, they want to hear what's going on, and maybe you can listen to this episode while you're driving to one of Spunj's shows.
Oh shit!
How about
You
that?
should do. How about that? Catch
How about
Spunj
that?
outside.
How about that?
Outside of PDX.
Whoa.
Follow No Simple Road at No Simple Road on the social media thing. Is
That's right.
go to our website and do website stuff there.
Yeah.
Check
what
out
you-
the merch, get a tarot reading, see what we're up to, where we've been, where we're going.
Go on Apple and put 5 stars, and then
And
be
get-
like, "Oh, right on,
and guess
guys."
what?
What?
We got another review.
What?
On February 22nd. We got from Canis Funk.
Ooh.
My favorite podcast, 5 stars. It'd be funny if it was like my favorite podcast and it was like 1 star. We'd be like, what?
The other ones suck. They don't get any.
This is not my first 5-star review.
Ooh.
I can't say it enough times. No Simple Road is my favorite podcast.
Aw.
And you're our favorite
I look
person.
forward to it every week. Thanks for the merch. Love y'all.
Aw,
Right
love you too.
on.
Thank you for the wonderful, sweet review.
See, that's
how
it.
you do
That's
it.
all you gotta do.
It's that easy.
We feel
Boom.
like so much better, right, Aaron? Don't you feel like
So
even better now?
I'm going to keep my promise. Canis Funk, whoever you may be out there on planet Earth, please shoot me an email at info@nosimpleroad.com. You receive 1 free merch item from No Simple Road for leaving us a review.
That's right on.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah,
That's all you
how
gotta
it
do.
works. That's how that's done.
And just so you know, Ben, I am working on your art piece after Mexico. You know, I got a little inspiration and read your email several times. So that is in the works as well. We pay up, maybe not fast, but we pay up.
Yeah, we pay our debts.
we don't forget.
No, go over to patreon.com/No Simple Road. 2024 is the year of No Simple Road needing you to sign up on Patreon.
Yeah.
Look, here's the deal, man. If you're friends of the show, if you're friends of ours, if you listen to the show every week, if you even drop in once or twice a month,
Yeah.
do us a solid. Throw a buck at us every month. Once a month,
Become
go,
part of
hey,
the family."
here's $1, No Simple Road. And then we will keep doing this in perpetuity forever until we can't talk anymore.
Well, just know this. We're going to do it for indefinitely, whether you give $1 or not. However, when you give $1, $5, $10, well, we may not do it for free forever, but we'll definitely do it
makes
forever.
It makes us more excited.
Yeah, it does.
We're
Puts
so
a smile
excited
on our
about it.
face.
But seriously,
Yeah.
man, go over and throw us a buck every month. If you're part of this family, go get involved in the community over there. There's a bunch of extra content. You know the spiel. That's the deal. Go to patreon.com/No
And then
Simple Road.
971-808-1524 is another way to get involved in the NSR community.
That is the tepid line.
We have actually a couple of calls this week. Hang on a
Right
second.
on.
I was listening to the Sweet Lily's episode and I heard the statement, have the red and the blue really ever had your back?
No.
And I thought, well, they have if there's a crack down the middle that turns into a bolt.
Yeah.
And the blue and the red might be more of a family than something that will make me halt in my tracks to support this political system. I just want to dance, groove, and smile at my friends who are going to listen with me to this jam. I hope that it's not going to be a 39-minute chalk dust jam. Oh, boy. What am I saying? I don't know. I think it might be time for me to go. All I wanted to say is that the red and the blue, the way I look at it, is going to be something new.
Oh, that's
that's
dope.
Dope.
You-
Yeah, it is dope.
The power of love over the love of power.
Ooh.
Thank you, Mr. Walton. Thank you, Mr. Walton. Thank you, Mr. Miner.
Thank you, Mr. Banana.
Well, that was.
I love it. I love
the whole thing.
I want you to talk like that all the time.
The
That is
whole
so
thing was
dope.
great. The chalk dust, the minor, the red and blue, got in your back, the love. You're right. All of it. It's great.
Yep.
You sound,
You're
you sound
right.
like a hippie preacher, kind of like telling the
Oh my
word.
God. I would love to see a skit, John, with you as the hippie preacher talking only in Fish and Grateful Dead songs for the whole thing.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack here, but thank you, John, for calling Tepid Line, first of all. Second, you're fucking amazing. The most amazing part of all of that is that Mel understands the reference to Thank You, Mr. Minor.
Why?
Because that makes me happier than anything.
Gracias, Senor Minor.
Yes.
That's our next year's Fish shirts.
Okay. So that's how you do the Tepid Line, everybody.
Yeah, that is how you do it.
Yeah,
that was a very good display
perfect
there.
example.
And just so you guys know, there's some that we don't put on. One, maybe because they're too long. Two, because they can't really hear. So we are getting these wonderful calls, but they're not always on here for those other reasons because they can't sometimes be on
the
there.
quality is tough.
Rachel, we're talking to you.
But not exclusively, Rachel.
No, but there's a few other people. But Rachel, we know that we're getting the Tepid Line calls from you. Just some of the sound quality is not there, and we don't want to do that. And,
like you're going on a good note, and then like half of it drops off, and then that's not fair.
And I just want to say it loud and proud. I am a proud member of the tribe. I'm a proud Jew. So just want everybody to know that for Rachel.
So everybody knows she was worried about that.
She was wondering if I was proud. And I'm absolutely proud.
He is proud.
Yeah.
I love being me and part of that.
And I'm proud to love you.
That's right. So that's the Tepid Line, everybody.
Yeah.
That's the way you do that. And hey, do us one more solid thing and tell somebody you love about No Simple Road. And when Spunj comes through town on the East Coast, go support him and say, hey, I heard about you guys on No Simple Road and I came out to see you tonight and I even bought this t-shirt.
Oh, they'll be so happy.
And they do have new merch also.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
Apple knows about that merch.
I saw it too.
All right, everybody, here we go. Without further ado, the No Simple Road crew gives you
Spunj.
I'm more of a curling guy, but you know.
Curling's actually really fun to watch people like buff ice.
Have you guys ever done
how to
it?
work that broom? Like
Done?
Yeah,
curling?
have you ever played it?
No.
I was part of my high school curling club for like 3 days, and then we went like super spun out on acid, and then we like never went again. it was like really wild. Downey was on that team.
It looks kind of fun.
Where was said high school?
In Fairfield, Connecticut. But the rink was in Bridgeport. So yeah, it was like very strange.
So if you all are wondering, we're here with Spunj.
We're here with the professional.
Oh, we're okay. I didn't mean to tell that on the air.
Let's go.
Starting strong.
Yeah.
I just outed Downey.
Curling on acid.
Yeah.
Allegedly. We're making this shit up as we go. No,
That sounds like taking it to a whole nother level. Like, wow.
It definitely I think it put it all into perspective. It was like, we don't want to do this every week.
Can you for real explain to me what are they doing to make that, like, why are they standing there jerking off brooms.
It melts the ice a little bit.
So the
doesn't it?
ice is actually pebbled, basically, like it's grated. Like the ice isn't smooth. It's rough. So when you're brushing it, you're like smoothing out the ice to make the rock go further and faster, right? So like you want to smooth it out to make it go further, and then if it's going too fast, you stop. Like you don't want to brush. It's like it's weird. It's the dumbest sport on earth. But it's like kind of exciting to watch sometimes when you got like nothing else going on. But yeah, that happened. I was like 16. I think I was like my junior year in high school. We just like joined. They like put up flyers in our high school. We were like curling club.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we're like hockey rejects. We all like grew up playing hockey, but it was like never tried curling. It's like something to do once you quit the hockey team and become a stoner. Like, yeah, let's just do that. And then, yeah, like the third week we did it, it was a Wednesday. Like my mom drove us there and we were all like spun as hell. I don't think she knows this.
Hi, Mom.
Sorry, Mom. And we quit.
End result is he quit.
Okay, let's start over here. Introduce yourselves and tell them who you are and what you do in Spunj.
My name is Sage McComas, and I play the drums and I sing.
My name is David Richards. I play the bass, the saxophone, and sing.
Yeah, you do.
My name is Dan Undercuffler. I play the keyboards and synthesizers, and I also sing sometimes.
And my name is Josh Harris, and I play the guitar and I sing.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to the house, gents. This is round 2 with Spunj. Redux.
Yeah, thanks for having us back.
Yeah, man. You guys are on your way through Portland on the way to Seattle right now?
Yes, we're going to be recording our third installment of the Snack Size EP series with our buddy Kevin up in Seattle. So look forward to seeing that soon. We're going to try and at least get a single out before we head out on tour.
You know, there's only so many seconds in life. You only have so many days, weeks, months, and years on the planet.
And true.
And so that means you only have so much coffee.
That's right. And it's really, there's not enough time to drink shitty coffee. Period. So let's do this.
No farting around.
No, let's.
We're gonna help out our listeners.
Yeah, let's make a pact, everybody. Let's drink good coffee in 2024, and the way you do that is by going over to our sponsor,
Northbound Coffee Roasters.
This is a family-owned and operated coffee roastery out of Mount Shasta, California, with a combined 22 years of coffee experience and over 600 Fish and Grateful Dead shows between the proprietors, Keith and Jen. Yeah,
That's a heck of a lot of shows.
That's a high show count. And you know what? That show count is just as high as the quality of the coffee over at Northbound. They specialize in specialty organic coffees with a wide variety of roast profiles, blends, and single origin offerings to match the taste of anybody who enjoys a quality cup of coffee, and I'm talking quality. Head over to northboundcoffee.com to learn more and place your order today. They ship anywhere in the U.S., and their coffees are always roasted to order to guarantee you the freshest cup.
Hey, how was your coffee lover's coffee?
The Coffee Lovers Coffee is my favorite so far.
Me too. I just
so
told
it lives
I told
up to
Keith
the
that.
name.
I told Keith that today, dude. When you make espresso with the Coffee Lovers, the crema on that particular blend is out of sight.
Can I try it in the morning?
Nope, can't have it. All right,
Did you buy any?
This is what you're gonna do, Apple. You can use the promo code No Simple Road, all one word, at checkout for free shipping on any order of any size. Your first order, any size, anywhere in the U.S. And you should sign up for their newsletter for additional discounts and inside heady info on our family over at Northbound Coffee Roasters.
In other words, you're telling everybody, including myself, to go order my
get your own bag, man.
and follow all the things they do.
That's right.
You won't regret it.
No, you won't.
I'm sure I won't.
Northbound Coffee Roasters.
Hell yeah.
So what's the plan? Like, you go up there and do you spend the week up there? Or?
Yeah, we usually, try to get it all done in one chunk. If you've ever recorded an album, it can be very tedious and can stretch way longer than you originally planned. So,
What causes that?
It can be a number of things. Something I've realized is how good the engineer is dictates kind of how fast a project can go. So, for example, with a less experienced engineer, if you're like, hey, can we tweak this one little thing, and they don't know how to kind of bip, bop, boop do it, it can turn into a 2-hour ordeal where they're having to figure it out. Another thing can just be like, poor planning. If you, for example, like if you don't map the BPMs and the bars and like measures, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, I think we went too long here. I think we were supposed to have a whole nother section and we recorded like it too short. Now we have to go back and redo it. It can be just like, I want to try a different amp tone. I want to try it with like different guitars. I mean, it can be a number of things.
So it pays to have an engineer on your side
that knows what they're doing.
good
one.
engineer,
Yeah, who knows what they're doing.
Definitely. And I mean, like, I also feel like it comes down to like there's so many different choices that we could make in the studio, and like it's kind of the only time that we can put the songs under like a very finite microscope and like really get the nitty-gritty details down. And sometimes I think this time we've been pretty good about practicing the material before we head into the studio, but sometimes we go in and it's just like, oh, we know how to play these songs, but like we never really thought big picture, like how do we want them recorded? Like how do we want, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like every time we go in, we're learning a little bit more about the recording process, and we make it easier on ourselves every time.
So it's like imperative that you guys get together, practice, be solid, and kind of have an idea of the overall structure you want.
Definitely, yeah. We don't want to waste our time. We don't want to waste the studio's time, and it's just like, it's easier for everybody if everything is tight. We know exactly what we want, and it's just easier to pitch that to the engineer. Just be like, this is exactly what we want, and how do we do that? Let's just have a quick conversation. Because it's like sometimes the last couple times I feel like it was like, now maybe let's do this. Now maybe let's do that. But I feel like now it's just like we kind of know what we want.
Does a process of going into the recording studio cause stress and strife between you guys?
Oh yeah. So much.
You're amping up for it?
Yes. Oh my God.
No.
Go for it. Oh, I think a lot of that's because you're cramped into a small room for like 10 hours, 12 hours a day.
gosh.
So anybody's going to get a little bit ticked off at each other if you're cramped in a small spot for so long.
Absolutely.
So 10, 12, I was going to ask that, like you're looking at like a 7-8 hour day. You're looking at like a 10 to 12 hour day for a few days.
Yeah, it's pretty much all day long. Well, people will go in and out of the room during the recording process. Like if Josh is recording a solo, maybe I'm upstairs practicing or something, trying to get another part perfect. But yeah, it takes a lot of work and it's tedious.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't think about that when you put on an album. You just listen to it. I don't think about what stress and heartache and all that went into recording that. You know what I mean? I would never.
Like 300 takes of one solo.
Do you burn out? Do you burn out on the solos after doing take after take after
especially
take?
if I don't have it mapped out, which definitely it helps to have it mapped out. But yeah, I've definitely spent several hours towards the point where I was like, I just need to walk away from this. Yeah,
give it a break.
I would think after so many takes, like it's like saying a word over and over again. Like it just starts to lose its meaning.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's and especially for me, it's super easy to hyperfixate on one thing, and you're like, oh, this isn't sounding right. Like, try it different ways, and then it's like you can't not hear it. So then you're listening back, and it's like, and then so like sometimes again back to the engineer. If it's a good engineer, they know to be like, hey, like walk out, let's go do something, or like, re-cleanse your palate or whatever. And then, you re-listen back, you're like, oh, okay, like I was just being, like OCD about it or something.
I would think a lot of times it's shit that nobody else would ever even fucking hear too.
No, for the most part. I mean, sometimes it can be obvious, but for the most part, it's just because we've known these songs since they were like created. So you're just like, oh, like, it's not how it's supposed to be in my head, so yeah.
I would think too that like it's hard for a band that's a live band to go into the studio and translate your sound and make it sound like Spunj. 2024 is coming in hot, man.
Ooh,
and we all need all the help we can get. And one of the ways you can do that is by microdosing mushrooms. And we're going to make it easy for you. You're going to go check out Melt Mushrooms on Instagram. Go follow at Melt Mushrooms, MELTMUSHROMS on Instagram, and check out all the amazing, wonderful flavors they have.
Well, and they just keep upping the options here. They have the full chocolate bars. They have the single little mini bars now. And if you don't like chocolate or can't have chocolate, they have the capsules as well.
And my heart goes out to you if you can't have chocolate. And in each bar is 4 grams of their sacred mushroom blend, organically grown and lovingly tended by the owners over at Melt. And there's a bunch of adaptogens and other things to make you feel amazing. So you can micro, macro, mincro, stinkro, whatever you want dose.
feel good
with this
about
stuff.
it.
You can make it melt everything away.
And check it out too. Their latest collab for their coffee crunch is made with slow bloom coffee, limited supplies. So hurry up.
Yeah, the coffee crunch is
Goes quick.
pretty damn delicious, man. And for the month of February, you are getting 30% off your bar. So go shoot them a DM. Tell them that No Simple Road sent you. They're going to shoot you their menu, and then you're going to get 30% off your bar, and you're going to melt all the 2024 out of your hair. That's how it works, man.
Yeah.
Melt premium mushroom chocolates.
Right. Well, that's kind of what I was gonna say is like the recording process is like pretty antithetical to like the entire ethos of like a jam band. Like what we're about is like being able to take risks and do things we wouldn't normally do on stage and like get to reap those rewards of taking cool risks and stuff like that. But in the studio, it's like sometimes you don't want to take any risks at all. Like you want to get it absolutely perfect. Like it's about just like getting it done, getting it recorded so we can get it out there. Like it's just about feeding the content machine that we all need to keep fucking feeding.
Well, and also like on a studio, I mean, you can't have like a 20-minute.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like a studio, it kind of has to be tight. It has to be, you know, like a little bit clean. So it's like we kind of have to be a lot more observant of like, okay, like when we're in the jam part, you know, it's got to be quick. You can't be like, we're going to spend 10 minutes soaking on a groove before we start soloing. You know, it's got to kind of be in and out, you know.
Do you feel like the stuff that you've put out on the Snack Size EPs represents you well?
Yes and no. I mean, me personally, I'm Spunj's biggest critic. I always think we can do better and be better, which is a good and bad thing. You know, like if I had thought we were the shit from the beginning, we would have never gotten where we are and as good as we are. But also I need to learn how to be like, this is where we're at and that's okay. And like people enjoy where we're at. Like I can't be like, you guys are wrong, you know, like
we rule and you guys are all wrong.
No. If they're fans, they'd be like, you're dumb, we suck, you're wrong. You know what I mean? Like
It's the opposite.
I can't do that. So sometimes I'll like listen back and I'm like, God, dude, that's like horrible. And then I'll listen back and be like, actually, you know, this shit kind of slaps, you know, like.
So is there a producer?
No, we haven't worked with. Well, the first album we did, like the one years and years ago, our first one we did, but the Snack Sizes, no, we haven't done that.
They got Rick Rubin coming in.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
We'll hook you guys up.
Are you guys because you guys have a lot of YouTube content. You get a lot of your shows on YouTube. Are you guys setting up and filming that, or you got somebody going around?
Paxton helps us out. We have a good friend, Paxton.
Shout out Paxton,
who does a lot of when he's on the road with us. He kind of bops around the stage with the DSLR, but we on our own set up 4 stationary like GoPro cams. We've got one on Sage, one on me, one on Josh and David like in the front, and then we do one in the back of the room.
Oh, cool.
And then we just kind of mix it together with like whatever audio we can scrape together from the night and just try to, again, feed that content machine and just kind of get it out there.
How do you feel about that content machine?
It's exhausting, but it's also like, it's kind of fun to be part of the rat race and just like, you know, if you really can stay on top of the content game, like it really does make a big difference and like people start to notice and it is a really good feeling sometimes. Like I mean, especially us, we grew up in the age of social media. It's like everything is just like instant gratification, just like nonstop. And just like we need that. Like when I post something to the Spunj account in the morning at like 10 a.m. by 11, I've checked the Instagram like 5-6 times in like the last hour to see like what we've gotten comments, we got likes. Like, do I need to engage with these comments? Do I need to like message? It's just like right. It's like it's exhausting, but it's also rewarding at the same time.
it's
guess.
not just being in a band.
No,
You have to be like every fucking thing. You're a band, you're a media production company, you're record producers, you're engineers, you're lighting guys, you're all of it.
Drivers.
we do all of our own booking at this time too.
Oh, wow.
Like it's and we just booked a 8-week tour to the East Coast. So pretty excited
well,
about
let's
that.
hear about
First
that. Let's
time
get
going
into-
back
yeah.
east?
First time that we're going to the East Coast. Yeah, we've got 8 shows on the East Coast. We're trying to round that out to about a dozen. We've got some things in the finalization sort of stages. So announcements on that soon. But yeah, we're doing 2 weeks in California, a week in Arizona, a week in Colorado, and then 3 weeks on the East Coast before we kind of swing back through Montana.
Wow.
What states are you hitting back east?
So far, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, New York, New Hampshire, and Vermont.
Wow.
And Rhode Island.
So the jam band
Yes, the New England kind of circuit. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, right.
Are you playing with anybody that we would know? Or are you just doing your shows or
Peak. I don't know if you've heard of those
No.
guys.
From New York City, yeah.
Mostly a lot of like local bands, like the Sponges, if you will, out there.
Right.
So most likely not, but excited to meet them and excited to make a bunch of new friends.
Are you
How do you
nervous?
how do you hook up with people that like that you don't know, that you've not played with before?
I guess that's more of a Sage question, really.
So I've always our Instagram's literally just like all bands. So, we just go and follow a lot of bands. And so it usually works one in two ways. It's either we reach out to the bands directly and just shoot our shot and like, hey, do you want to play a show with us? And they'll either say yes or no, or we go to the venue, get the date, and then they pick the bands that we'll play with.
Oh, okay.
So, with these dates, it was kind of a mixture of both. Some of them we reached out, said yes, and then booked the date, and then some we booked the date and they reached out.
Wow.
And then you're doing the 4 dates with Lespecial?
Yeah, that's here in the P&W, but yeah.
And that's in February. That's coming up. This well, I don't know when this is airing, but February 14th to the 18th.
We'll get it out before that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sick.
Yeah. How did that happen? How did playing with the Special come around?
Well, we've done a couple shows with them in the past. First time was in Portland at the Star Theater in 2022. Last year, these three did a trio show with them in Eugene at the Big Dirty. But they recently transitioned management. But their old manager, Ryan Clausen, was a big fan of ours, and he really was rooting for us. So he made a big push at 7S and Mike and all the guys representing Lespecial now. Like, these are your guys in the Northwest. So
Heck yeah.
shout out to Claw. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Claw's a good dude, man.
So
We always need someone on our side, man, to root for us.
We've got a lot of really great people in our corner that we've met over the last couple of years, and we're extremely grateful for that. Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Sage, let me ask you a tough question.
Bring it on.
How do you feel like it's going with Spunj?
Horrible, dude. We suck. No, I mean, honestly, I say like a bunch. I am blown away by what we've been able to do in a relatively short amount of time. We haven't even been a band 5 years.
Wow.
And
that's insane to me.
That's including, the year and a half of COVID. So, if you want to count that or not.
Well, and Brian from Spafford says that we've only been a band as long as the four of us have been together, which has actually technically been 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
So however you want to think about it, a relatively short time. I remember, like when me and Josh started the band, like how cool would it be to open for Spafford? Done. Open for Twiddle? Done. Had them sit in, how cool would it be to play festivals, headline festivals,
Start our own festival.
Yeah.
throw our own festival, which of course you guys were a part of. So there's been so many things that I'm just like, holy crap, I can't believe we've actually done it. how cool to be, go to a different state we've never been, and people already have our shirts, like Colorado. And people flew out from the PNW to Colorado for the shows. So, yeah, as much as I can like be like, either, look at other bands and be like, oh, they're further ahead or whatever than us, or, I think I perceive them as better than us, which I can do a lot. I definitely am like, wow, I can't believe, we've accomplished what we've done and still going strong. I mean, it feels like the momentum's like building up and up. So, yeah, I'm really proud of us and really happy with what we've been able to do, even if I can gripe a lot.
Well, that's a tough one too. We recently have talked about that several times. The comparison thing,
right?
You start comparing yourself to other, and it's like, don't do that.
Yeah, you
don't.
Can't. Totally. I mean, you can, get inspiration. Maybe have that small sense of like competitiveness, like which is healthy for anything you do, really. But don't let it like get you down and kind of like impair you and be like, well, why are we even bothering if so-and-so's for, because that's just like, that's always going to be there. And I'm sure those people do the same thing, not to name bands, but I've talked with bands and when, Goose is where it's at and been like, do you get down that Goose has kind of gotten super far ahead and, it's just like, you can't do that because that's just not healthy.
No, I think it's true with everything, man. Like even in doing what we're doing, you can't fucking play that game. If you do, if I do that, it makes me want to quit.
Yeah,
it's all it does for me. It makes me like, well, what's the fucking point?
Why even bother?
Yeah.
If I can't be the best.
Or, why don't we have 1 million listens a month or whatever? Well,
why hasn't Trey been on the show yet?
Hey Trey, done it for you, buddy. I know you're listening to this episode, so we'd have you on anytime.
I know you
Long
love
time
Spunj.
listener.
Yeah, we got an open door policy for Fish, like whenever, guys. So.
I would be curious to hear from each of you how you feel like it's going.
Yeah, because that's probably a different answer for everybody.
I mean, I think it's going pretty well. A lot of the things we're doing were things that I dreamed about doing as a kid. So I'd say if we're living that, I'd say that's a pretty good job.
Yeah, it is.
I've got nothing but good things to say. I mean, not always, but I've got
right now
right now in front of the internet.
Yeah, I've got nothing but good things to say about where we're headed. I mean, I'm insanely excited every day for this band and for where we're headed and what we can accomplish. That I feel like the possibilities are endless so long as we can keep this up. And I just. I don't know. Every day I just wake up excited. I'm checking the email and just kind of looking for angles and ways that we can just kind of keep this thing moving. And it's what keeps me getting out of bed every single morning. It's like it really is. I'm so excited about it like every single day.
That's rad, Dan.
I honestly did not think I would even be doing this. This was not my dream when I was a kid. I never really got into music at all. And, it kind of just all happened.
I think we talked about it last time. Like, how exactly did it happen?
I was like diddling around on the guitar. I had a neighbor when I lived in Pennsylvania. Like I heard him just playing slide guitar. Sorry. And like it just kind of drew me over to his house. I knocked on his door. He was like, "Hey, like, you playing that right now?" He's like, "Yeah." And one thing led to another. He showed me some chords, and I just kind of like, I was a skateboarder, I was like, I wanted to do that, and it kind of just all fell into place.
That's one of the things that blows me away about you guys. Like, when you guys started Spunj, how long had you been playing guitar? Like a very short,
barely even like a year, probably.
He only knew his cowboy chords. Like I swear to you, he didn't know like a scale. He knew his G, C, D. And E.
Great job,
Thank
Josh. That is like, you guys. First of all, you're awesome. The band is amazing, and each one of you brings your own thing to the table. But to have that youth in your instrument and still be able to hold up the band like that's incredible, and I think that you guys are doing fantastic. Truly. I really do. Like you guys, every time I've seen you, you put on a high energy, unique individual show, and everybody comes out of nowhere with different like surprises, which that's what I love about Spunj, is that it's a surprise every time. That's how I feel about it.
I was just going to say with Jaw, we've commented on that over, especially last year and a half. You used to seem a lot more shy on stage, like wouldn't make eye contact as much and stuff. And we've seen more presence. Come out
that's
of you.
what I was just going to say.
Okay, we've talked about that several. Like holy shit, Josh is really not that you weren't playing good before, but you seem more shy and weren't
in my head,
participating with the crowd as much. And
because it was also new too.
Yeah, that's
When
true.
We saw you at Rhythms Ground last year at Mojo Family Fest. That was the first time that I was like, holy shit. Like I saw you for the first time on stage, like come out of yourself, and you were playing for us. And it was fucking dope. I was like, wow.
Yeah, we had a fun show.
Really
that was
cool
a great
to see.
show.
Was it last year's Skull and Roses you guys did the parking lot?
2 years ago.
Before? It was 2 years ago.
2022.
When you chipped your tooth.
Oh yeah, I did. I chipped. When we did 500 miles. Yeah, I did. I chipped
That was a
tooth,
kick-ass performance.
Saved that night.
Blew that Saturday night away when it was a dud inside the venue.
They stopped doing that. They stopped allowing bands in the parking lot after that year.
Well, they stopped allowing amplified music. You could do like acoustic stuff, but yeah, like no more like live performances. So
We made it in the nick of time.
yeah. We got super lucky.
No, they canceled it because we jammed too hard, dude.
Yeah, you guys shut it. You guys
Tore it
did shut it down.
Absolutely shook that place.
I think we were blocking a road though. One of the nights, I think the Saturday night that we got shut down. Right, there was too many people and like vehicles couldn't get through.
Yeah,
there was
because
so
we were
many
next to
people
that
at camp.
through end. Yeah.
Oh, boy. A rumor though, apparently, somebody took a selfie with Keller Williams at the back of like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Apparently he was there.
Allegedly.
We still have
Allegedly.
no proof. No actual proof.
This is not a rumor though. I don't know if y'all were there, but Jay Blakesberg came and took photos of us too that year.
Really?
That's where
On the last year he came on the final
The
night.
last night, yeah.
And he shot us, and that's like where our relationship began with him.
What I always thought that was the coolest part about that was Phil was the headliner that night.
Yeah.
So, I mean, depending on how big his SD cards are, like we were like the next photos right after the Phil show.
We
on
shared
that
an SD card with Phil.
It was that. I mean, that's cool to me.
Hell yeah, that's cool.
Jay Blakesberg, he actually unplugged my amp while we were playing on accident because he was going around to take a picture and just stepped on the power cord. I was like, oh shit, where'd my bass go? I thought my amp broke or something.
Oh, we were like,
God.
You're probably shitting your britches.
Yeah, I was like, I fucked up in front of Jay. Fuck.
I had my eyes
Jay's
closed
the
in
one that
mid
did
solo.
it. That's funny.
I was like mid solo. I was like eyes closed, just like kind of just in the zone. And I opened my eyes, and he's just there with his camera. And I was like,
shit.
Dang.
That was that was like me at Cervantes when I made eye contact with Frasco, like in the middle of our set, and I see Andy Frasco in the crowd, and I'm like, fuck. And for like the next 20 minutes, I was just like frozen at the keyboards, just like could not perform. But yeah, anyways, sad.
Shout out Andy Frasco.
Yeah.
What up, Andy?
That's the homie right
Hell
there.
Yeah.
I mean, doing anything creative is fucking hard. Putting yourself out there is hard. And especially like putting your art out there for other people to critique and see is hard. And the jam band world is so full right now. Like 2014-ish, 13, 14, it wasn't quite like it is right now. The pool was a lot thinner, shallower. And I feel like there's a glut of bands out right now. What do you think it is about Spunj that like separates you from the pack? The dog.
Besides our dashingly good looks.
Well, of course that, Sage. Duh.
Honestly, I think it's like at least part of it is I think we're really good people. I think so much of what we've been able to accomplish is because we like either just walk up to people and like talk to them, or like, you know, maybe it's a little bit when we know someone has like, I don't want to say clout, but if we know, you know, we make an effort to talk to them.
Yeah.
I think
Play your cards right.
yeah, you know, I mean, I think even, you know, like this right here, I mean, I can't exactly remember when we first met, but I know the second I heard, oh, they have a podcast, I probably made an effort to come and be your guys' friend, you know? And so, I mean, I don't know if that's like a good quality, if that's shady, and I'm just, you know.
You know what? It's taking everything that you have, and if you did that and you were a shitty friend, then it wouldn't last.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you doing that and being super cool and also having a dope band, then there's nothing shady about that. That's just,
it's like seizing opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I've seen like personally, like a lot of other bands like don't do. And, you know, I mean, whether it's like they're just kind of shy or I don't know. I think also that goes into the next. I think we're just crazy ambitious. Like we all live in the same house together for years now.
Wow.
We've all like kind of, you know, metaphorically signed a blood pact to like either we're gonna. The quote we've always said is we're gonna play Red Rocks, you know.
Yes.
And that's not because I think we're like the best or the hottest, you know, band, but it's just like, by God, we're either gonna die trying or we're gonna do it.
Fuck
you know?
yeah, man.
So I would say that, you know, probably.
I think it's like I think to tie into what Sage is, it's like it has to do a lot with the hustle. Like we live, our life is this band. Like everything we do in our lives is for this band. Like from you know the moment we wake up, it's just like even though some of us wake up later than others, from the moment we wake up, like we live this band. Everything we are doing is like so that we can just keep this band going.
Okay, so what's a day in a life of Spunj not on stage?
Oh, well, it really depends on who you ask.
Wake up, do a bump. No.
Because I'm the only exception in the band. I live with my partner, Sarah, in an apartment. The three of them live together.
Okay.
And so for me, it's just a lot of just kind of sitting on the computer, doing emails and kind of taking dabs and watching Sports Center. But that's me. You know, everybody's a little bit different, but I think the point is like, I can't remember who said it. I think it was actually Fishman. It was like, he doesn't have a choice but to play music. Like I feel like we don't have a choice. Like we're not, like, although we may be equipped with some other life skills, like we don't have ambition to do anything else in this world. Like we want to do this. Like this is what we want to do. We want to play music for people. We want to travel the country and have a great fucking time doing it. And so far we've been able to do it. It feels really fucking good and I don't want to stop. It's kind of, I guess that's it. You know, it's like we don't have a choice. This is just what we do.
Right. Did you have something you want to say?
I was thinking about it, but no, it's okay.
All right.
Give me that mic back.
So musically, what sets you apart from the pack?
Okay, at least for me, I didn't get into jam bands until I was like almost like 22. And so I think what happens with a lot of people that start jam bands is it's what they grew up on. I think, you know, it's like been the one thing. And I think what happens is a lot of bands can like become a little redundant, not to like shit talk other bands or anything.
No, you're allowed to have an opinion.
I think we've all been to a show, you know, like a local band, an original jam band. And you're like, oh, that's just this Fish song. Oh, that's just this Dead song. Oh, you know. And so for me, it was like first, you know, and I grew up in Austin, Texas. So I was seeing, you know, because the way Austin like liquor licenses work, I could go to bars and see music at like 15.
Okay.
So I was going and seeing like every band that I wanted to see. So it was like Modest Mouse and the Pixies and Starfucker and, you know, so at first it was indie bands and then I got into punk music and then I was seeing, you know, Black Flag and the Gorilla Biscuits and, you know, a bunch of punk music and then I went to school and it was for music, and it was focused on world music. So then I got into like calypso and Latin music, and then I got into jam bands. So when the band started, there was just and my dad is a reggae musician, so grew up with reggae music too. So for me, it was just like there was so much other influence besides Fish that was like naturally there. Like I couldn't even write a Fish-esque song if I wanted to, because one, they're just too good and too gnarly. So I think that at least sonically somewhat sets us apart, because I just didn't listen to a lot of jam band music until I almost started my own jam band. And so I guess that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
Which that makes sense though. You already had a wide palette before you even got to that.
Which also every jam band guy says, we listen to everything.
Yeah.
I know that's like the most cliche answer, but it's true for me.
I also didn't grow up on jam band stuff as a kid. I don't have any other musicians in my family, and I started playing at like 11 years old, I think. And I grew up listening to a lot of jazz and stuff. I was into big band music and swing when I was a kid, which is kind of weird.
That's cool, man.
It was fun. I had a good time. That's why I started playing saxophone, and then all throughout like high school, and I went to music school. I was mostly like into jazz music and like a lot of like 70s jazz fusion, like T-Square, like a Japanese band from the 70s. Charles Mingus, Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, that kind of stuff. And I didn't really get into I had like a heavy music phase like right after college, and that's when I started kind of diddling around on the bass. And I didn't start really playing bass in a band until I met the Spunj guys. And was like, hey, like I just kind of started learning bass, and they were looking for a bass player. So it's like, hey, what's up?
Wow.
They got a twofer with you.
Yeah.
I think for us, like that show that we saw at Rhythms Ground that you guys did, you don't know what to expect with Spunj. Like there's no like, oh, this is typical Spunj song. Mm-mm. Every song was different. Every song had different flavor, and there was a surprise in every one of them. And I think that for me, that's what sets you guys apart, is like, there's no pigeonhole with Spunj. It's different than
cosmic gumbo.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And the name actually makes sense. Like you've soaked up all this, different inspiration from around the world. And so what's coming out is unique.
I think definitely. I think we're really lucky to have people who like studied music like Sage and David, who like really, really understand their way around so many different genres of music.
Yes.
That we're able to sort of approach every song. Like, I think to kind of tie back into what Sage was saying, like, I think the best jam bands, in my opinion, like, don't try to sound like jam bands. Like, they just play kick-ass music and then just take it into a place you've never heard before.
Yeah.
Like, I even sometimes, like, I struggle to call Fish a jam band because, like, yes, they do jam, but, like, their music is kind of all over the fucking place. And,
Oh
like,
my God.
when I think of jam band, I think of, like, 4 dudes in flip-flops, like, on a beach in San Diego, just, like, kind of just, like, being, like, it's just, like, kind of just nonsense. But, like, when I see, like, real musicians, like, playing just, like, music that is good and like taking it to a place you've never seen before, like I think that's like what a jam band is about. Like I feel like we're really lucky to be able to explore so many different genres and so many different kind of tastes and sounds.
A band that can go from playing like Rocky Top to Split Open and Melt
Exactly.
to
Right.
to that's a musician. That's
For
somebody
sure.
that's versed in the school of music, the language of music.
Right.
That you can't like jam band that. And I think that whole term has been watered down and overused, and
I would agree,
it's
definitely.
an easy way to like put something into a category that really doesn't fit.
It's hard to describe when you see like, oh, what kind of band is Spunj? You say jam band because it kind of covers a lot, but that's not really 100% accurate. And it's like that with a lot of quote unquote jam bands. Like they're good musicians, but like, okay, they jam and that's why you're calling them that, but that's not necessarily what their flavor is.
I feel like that about Goose. Like if you listen to a Goose studio album, kind of not a jam band. It's more indie music,
Absolutely,
as far as I'm concerned. Like, you know what I mean? But they happen to play 30-minute versions of their songs or whatever. And I think that's just taking music to another level. And now we've put that into a category.
That jam band's become such a broad term. It like encompasses so much. And like Rick from Goose hates that moniker. A lot of bands do now. It's like, we're not a jam band. We're a band. Like don't throw it, don't throw us but not a jam band. Don't throw us in that category.
Yeah, Sage always says that jam band's kind of like a dirty word a little bit because people hear jam band and they automatically think of like smelly hippies and
it turns a lot of people off to it immediately that aren't into that jam band thing.
I feel like it's a question every jam band dances around when people are like, "Oh, what kind of music do you play?" We're like,
psycho fusion, hillbilly rock and roll jazz.
Well, because what can you truly say to really get like for people to understand? There's not one or two words that you can really put into a box. So like,
you just kind of got to see it.
Yeah.
When I get asked the question, what I usually say is like, you'll like one song. I was like, it's all over the place, but there will be one song you like. You know, if you don't like it all, you know,
you're gonna find one.
We go so much all over the place. Like you'll at least like one song.
Which to be fair, I mean, like we've all seen how like thousands of people descend on an amphitheater to see like Hootie and the Blowfish or someone like play one song. So I mean, give us a chance if you're gonna like one song. I think it's fair.
I want to be with you.
Exactly. It's like they're gonna sit through a 3-hour Hootie and the Blowfish to hear one song. You can sit through like 90 minutes of Spunj to hear a tune you might like. I think it's a fair exchange.
We kind of did that. Were you there for did you go see Train with us, Josh?
I did not.
Oh, so me and my girlfriend Audrey and Sage saw Train at the Cuthbert. We kind of just went like into the show waiting for the "Hey Soul Sister." Like finally, like an hour into the show, we're like, okay, we can leave now.
Shit. But what's funny though is David was so accustomed to how jam bands work. He's like, they're probably not gonna play it, and I was like, no. They are 100% going to play it. They're probably saving it for the last song.
They have
so that nobody leaves halfway through the show.
And I was like, I'll make a bet with you right now.
It's in the contract. Like it's necessary.
Yeah, seriously.
So you mentioned playing Red Rocks. Yes. Right? That's like the dream.
Favorite venue to play. Yeah.
Been there, done that. Yeah. Green room is
you
Trey tried to get
day.
into our green room. It was weird.
When you have a dream like that, right? Other than doing the work to get there, what do you do to manifest a dream like that? Other than doing the work.
Just be like, please, 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 please.
Yeah, just spam them. I mean, this kind of ties in with doing the work. I think having a solid understanding of the business, which kind of ties back to like, you know, one thing that separates us. I think a lot of people, like when they're, you know, going about this journey, they don't really understand the steps and like kind of you need to do this before you can do that, before you can do this. So
for example, like one example,
you know, before we play Red Rocks, we're obviously going to need Colorado market history. Like we're going to need to play Colorado. Like we're going to have to sell out the Ogden and the Mission Ballroom before, you know, most likely we're going to almost need to go coast to coast and play almost every market in the country. I also make a funny joke that when I say we're going to play Red Rocks, that counts opening for a band too. But never said headline.
Stage. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We open, we're good. We can call it quits.
Shit, man.
Then.
Frasco says he sold out Red Rocks and it was during COVID and they only let like 400 people in.
Oh, right.
Counts.
Yeah, that counts.
Count it.
Well, sometimes it takes somebody a while to get. Like when we went and saw Green Sky, we were there the night Holly Bowling took the stage with them. It was her first time ever on stage at Red Rocks, and she lives in Colorado. and plays with
Holly
everybody.
Bowling?
I thought she
Yeah.
lived in
Pretty
San
sure
Fran.
she lives in San Francisco.
Yeah, San Fran.
Oh,
Yeah.
She lives in San
Oh, that's
Francisco.
right. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought she lived in Colorado.
She
That's
was
a mix-up,
visiting.
but that's right. When
Nice
we
try,
interviewed her, she
Apple.
was
Yeah,
in her
that's fine.
house
Try.
during
We'll
COVID.
edit this part
Fake
out.
news. Fake news.
All right. Well, she should have played there before, but then she comes in as a guest, and that was awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, Holly's sick.
Shout out to Holly.
I think,
And her new baby.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
having a dream like that, you got to have little ones along the way that like
Mile
signposts,
markers?
mile markers along the way.
Yeah, of course.
And also like, I think seeing yourself just like in your head doing it and feeling the feeling of doing it like it already happened. I think that like
That
helps
visualization factor.
make it come into reality too, because your
I could
brain
see
is
it.
your brain is the thing that's making your whole reality. Like I'm in your movie right now. Way to go, Sage. And
Thank you. Thank you.
Have you all been to
Who's,
Red Rocks?
who's directing my movie?
Yeah.
that's a good question.
But who's all been to Red Rocks? Is
I
everybody?
haven't.
No,
I have.
You have.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think just
Haven't
Josh.
yet.
No,
Jo-
I
only
haven't
Oh
Josh.
either.
dang, Josh. Okay, who'd you see?
I saw Twiddle and I think it was Stick Figure.
Okay.
And we were like up in the nosebleeds, and like I was with like my friend and his girlfriend and his girlfriend's dad, and he like for some reason like loved me, like he just kept buying me beers, but like he snuck us down to the 4th row, and then like during set break.
I'm enjoying this, Josh.
Keep going.
Like, Holly was like, "Oh yeah, we have like a really like special surprise for you guys when we come out." And Phil Lesh walked out. And I was
Oh,
like
shit.
4th row. I was like, "Nice, like this is." It was a great show.
Oh,
they did like
dang.
Shakedown, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Who was snoring?
The,
Is there, like-
the juice was worth the squeeze there.
What was that?
That was you. Say.
That was totally you, Sage, being mean.
No.
You're directing your movie and didn't realize it. You're the one that called it.
Yeah, I produced, directed, edited, starred,
And
did
wrote
the
the
sound,
comedy bit.
everything. I'm all the characters. It's
When
Like a Tyler Perry movie.
when you guys get ready to go out on tour for the East Coast, are you preparing for that differently than you would for a run out here?
Little bit.
How so?
Promotion is everything when you're hitting new markets. We need to be approaching it from every angle possible. And I mean, especially when you're returning to other markets too. I mean, we just need to be promoting the hell out of this tour, basically.
Is that just Instagram?
Yes and no.
and Facebook.
And Facebook and
Instabook.
We're trying
MySpace.
to get some stuff going with Relics right now, trying to get some some placements with them, and just it's just about they in advertising and marketing they say like it takes you like 3 to 5 times of like seeing a logo or seeing something in order to register it as like a trademark or as like something that's a recognizable logo, right? Like in terms of like seeing the McDonald's arches, like you see that everywhere. So like if immediately as you see it, you're like McDonald's, like you start associating it with everything. If we can just start getting that name on as many fucking channels as possible, like people will just start seeing the name. It's about brand recognition. Like Spunj is not just a band, it is also a brand. Like we are a brand we're trying to represent like in a much bigger sort of idea than just like a musical entity. Like we're a business that's operating as well.
We had this guy Henry Kaiser. Have you ever heard of him? He's played with he played with Garcia and he's old heavy cat. Anyway, we had him on the show and I think it was him, and he was like a band these days is just a vehicle to sell T-shirts.
It wasn't him. It was Maurice Tanny.
But kind of true.
Basically, yes.
Right? Like,
yeah.
I would say
seriously.
we make about 50 to 60% of our revenue on tour from merch.
50 to 60?
No shit.
I mean,
probably.
yeah, I'd say like 40 to 60.
Okay,
maybe
yeah.
a little bit under, but there are definitely nights we make more from merch than we do from the door.
That
Definitely,
robbing banks.
But merch is a big like what's the word I'm trying to investment too. Right?
Yes.
So you're making this you're making music, you're making clothing, you're making posts, you're
filming.
filming. I mean, if I guess if it's your life, then it doesn't matter. You're gonna do whatever it takes.
Right.
So I guess
We're not doing anything different. We're doing the same shit. We're just not playing music.
And we're doing
definitely
our
not
merch
promoting,
online
yeah.
through fulfillment.
Yeah.
But we have to do all that same fucking
No.
dance,
Well,
man.
like if you want to be recognized, that's the game, I guess.
And it's wild that having to back to the content thing, like what I see bands having to go through to promote a show now. You have to be like sketch artists.
all with no support
Literally,
too.
yeah.
Like, back in the day, there was like these big music, entities that would take the band and then they would fund everything.
Yeah, like a
and
record contract.
They'd have their
Yeah,
photographers
They'd have
and
you
all
like
that.
riding around in limos and shit.
Yes.
You'd be like, oh, yeah, that'd be sick.
But
That'd be nice.
now you have to do all that and more with no support.
Yes.
That's insane.
With-
You really do have to want to do this.
With venue expenses getting more, like merch cuts getting more from venues, like they're taking a lot more from us as artists now, and like we're getting way less too. Like it's like the model in terms of like what we can even earn from these shows.
Yeah.
I'd like from what we're being told from like back in the day is like we couldn't, it seemed to be much easier back then to actually like make a living off of touring and doing this thing. But I mean, thankfully we've had, we've been lucky.
Does everybody in the band only do the band, or are you working day jobs?
Oh yeah, we all work.
We've got day jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, I pulled a 14-hour on Friday.
Dang, David.
No, you didn't.
I did. No, me and Sage work together at Eugene Farms. It's like a trim scene, basically. We just trim weed and stuff. And then me and Josh work together at a restaurant called Cornucopia in Eugene.
Shout out to Cornucopia.
Shout out Cornucopia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, fuck.
Eugene's got pretty
Wow.
good weed too. I've discovered because Nectar carries them, and I was like, Nectar, and then I tried some because I do a lot of dispensary. It was like, okay, this shit's pretty good.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I don't really smoke. I don't really smoke much.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
I don't really smoke much weed anymore, but it's not. I like being around the plants because they smell really nice.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, should I just start smoking weed again? I'm like, no, don't do it. You're gonna get scared.
Does weed make you paranoid?
It didn't used to, but when I was like 23, for some reason, I just started. Every time I would smoke weed, I would just get really anxious about everything. I think I was just having like a bunch of existential crises. Like, holy shit, I'm just turned 23, done with school. I'm an adult now. What am I gonna do?
That is pretty
Okay.
scary.
And then weed puts a spotlight
Highlight.
on it, and you're like, oh, fuck.
I just wanted to relax.
No, I'm the same. Can't do it. I just wanted to relax.
Okay, so besides Red Rocks, what's another kind of pinnacle, or what's another thing that Spunj wants to attain or get?
Be booked on Jam Cruise.
Oh, yes.
Be booked on
Annabelle.
Halloween.
Oh, yes.
The Peach Fest.
I think Peach is done.
Oh
I heard.
well,
I think
then
it is,
shoot,
yes.
dang.
Wow.
We got there. We got there.
Sad.
What's the one in Rothbury? Electric Forest.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
just playing all the really cool, like iconic festivals. Obviously,
That's got to be a little bit easier these days because I'm looking up at these lineups and there's a lot of the same people playing.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Very repetitive.
right.
They got to have
that's,
some.
That's the problem. Is it's
Called
kind
management.
of just like it's just
rigged.
like it's like a boys club. It's like all of these. There's like 5 agencies that just like have a hold on all these spots in the festivals, and they're like, oh, I'll give you this big band if you take my 7 little bands.
Oh.
Right, so it's like, oh, you don't get this band unless you take my other 7 little
Okay.
bands. Right,
So
it's like
why haven't you guys tried to get management?
we have.
Well, okay, so it's
If you're
we-
out there, please.
no, okay, so
11 group.
it's kind of been a personal choice. Like
That's also true.
rewind. So there are obviously huge agencies, right, that represent the
Yes.
top artists, but there are smaller agencies that represent local bands. And we've had experiences where we've either had friends who are on these agencies and it comes with gripes, and when you have to be given like a lot of like the agent really has to be like putting in a lot of work. Like they want to build you up, you know. So
it behooves them to build you up because that's how they're getting paid.
And if they don't do that, and you're kind of tied to this contract where they're the only ones that are allowed to book your shows, like you can't book outside of them, you can quickly become pigeonholed and, you know, not grow as fast as, you know, whatever. And so we've gotten pretty good at it. I mean, we're pretty good at like being able to represent ourselves and work with professional bands like Spafford and Lespecial and, you know, others in festivals as well. So we're kind of just holding out to get onto the big agencies. Like we've kind of made that decision where it's like, we don't want to go through an awkward trial run with a smaller agency, you know, and of course, like, no offense to bands that do, and I'm not trying to,
this is,
you know,
again,
personal
opinion and choice.
Right. So, you know, but basically, you know, our idea is like, we want to be on the agencies that, you know, Dogs and Spafford and the big guys are on, because that's how you get into those big festivals. Like you can't really self-represent yourself into big national multi-million-dollar festivals, like, because they only work with the amount of, you know, those agencies. Yeah. So we're just kind of like, you know, we're basically waiting till we can come, and we kind of feel like this is the year, but basically like go to them and be like, hey, look, like we have played the West Coast, Colorado, the South.
So you legit have to
East
give them
Coast.
your resume of like
places
that you've
and here are numbers. Like we can pull like this amount in like 20 different markets. Like fucking take us. Come on. What do we gotta do? You know?
But basically it's gotten to the point where like we have learned so much about the music industry in the last few years doing this thing that like we can do just as much for ourselves and keep that 15% cut we would give to management or an agency than a smaller booking agency would be able to do for us. We have the connections, we have the know-how, we have the hustle, we can do it for ourselves, and we will continue to do it for ourselves, because the way we see it is like the smaller agencies, like there's very much a ceiling as to like where they can take you. And it's like they're a lot more reluctant to pass you off to a bigger agency if like you're their big cash cow.
Why would I give my good money maker away?
So it's like it is in our eye like way worth it to hold out, even for like one of those like, you know, B-tier agencies, you know what I mean? And it's like that's kind of where we're looking right now, is to kind of start pitching in that direction, I guess.
Because it's like, why would we go to an agency where their biggest band is just like arguably as big as us? Like there's no room to go. Like now it's just like the only benefit
competing with that band now.
Well, and the only benefit is just like now we don't have to send emails, but we're basically doing the same thing.
And you're giving away 15%.
Exactly. You know, because the thing to like think about is, when we get signed to that agency with big names, now it behooves them to be like, oh, well, I represent Pigeons. Let's have you open for them for an entire run. Oh, I, you know, have this band. Like now it's in my best interest to have you open for them and get bigger. And so now we're kind of like cutting corners and getting,
totally makes sense.
It's just a much faster, you know, way to do it, even if it might kind of take us. We're doing a lot of work. Like booking an 8-week tour by ourselves is like so much, you know. And I really got to give props to Dan, because he's been doing the majority of the work.
Shout out Dan.
Sage helped too.
And I helped.
I brought him coffee.
Hey, that's a big thing.
Well,
right
I mean,
there.
you're a freaking team. You're a band. You can't like just one of you do everything, because that will burn that one person out. You have to spread the love.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
get
Mel.
Side-eye action to Mel.
Can't have to do everything, because it will burn that one person out. Anyway.
Well, unless they're really passionate, then they're fine. They could do everything themselves.
Do you guys need the room?
or when you have an ear that the other people don't, and you're such a perfectionist that there's no way the other people can do it.
Don't worry, we'll edit this part out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So anyway, changing subject. Oh,
Yeah.
I got a totally dumb question.
All right.
Sweet.
Because I
Love
just want to
those.
know that. And I
This
imagine
one's
that-
for Josh.
Have you guys thought of doing it, or has anybody showed up to one of your shows dressed as a sponge?
No, not fully dressed. We've had people bring sponges
And like throw
That girl
sponges.
Talia. Shout out to Talia.
I just picture I could picture like a mascot, like SpongeBob almost, or something, with the person's face sticking out, like your hype man.
That sounds like you want to do that, Apple.
Kind
Do it,
of.
Apple.
Janae, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I did find you can buy these like giant like 6x6 foot sponges on the internet. They're like $250.
Oh my
but I was kind of like maybe the next time we do camp suds, like let's get a couple like huge ass sponges and like make like a sponge mobile out of them or something.
Hell yeah.
Let's hear about the last Camp Suds because we weren't there. I want to hear how it went.
It was cold.
Really?
It was
super cold.
So yeah, it was. It took place over Halloween this year,
Okay.
which October
Yeah.
up here it's very cold. Yeah, I mean, literally when we were on stage both nights, like it crept down to like 28 degrees.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, it was insane.
We had heaters and bonfires and stuff going for the crowd, but it was cold.
It was still cold, like even with heaters and fires. I will say it was because it was Halloween. It was super fun because there was costumes, like everyone was basically dressed up both days, and that was really fun. And our sets, we did 2 sets each night, but one set each night was themed, and so we got to dress up and kind of like do a little bit more, or there was reason to kind of go a little bit further in the goofiness. And we held the first Camp Suds Olympics, which was my favorite. That was my favorite part of the whole weekend.
It was so
What's
cool.
the Camp Suds Olympics? Please?
It was a bunch of different games. Like it was like a points based thing of like we split up into teams. So it was Team Sage, Team David, Team Dan, Team Josh. We each had like 6 or 7 people on our teams, and we did like an egg relay race, right?
It was in the spirit of like summer camp. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't during summer, the idea was like we're gonna do all these silly, goofy games. Well, first I was kind of thinking, I was like, man, like, is anyone gonna like enter? Are we even gonna have people? Are we gonna just be like, begging for people to be
Just look
interested?
super lame. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Let's play a game.
And when we had the bullhorn and we start making the announcement. We like made the round around the whole property, letting everyone know. And we had like almost too many people enter.
Oh,
it was
shit.
like we had
Okay.
like almost 30 people.
It was more than that.
And we were hoping for like 4 a team, and we ended up having like 8 almost per
Okay.
team. And we did there was like a spoon and egg race. We did the 3-legged race. We did
Tug of war.
Tug of war.
big game of tug of war.
And our friend Jesse made a giant thing of Jenga. Like a giant, like a
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's
the
4-foot tall
rad.
Jenga. Yeah.
That got intense.
And that got really intense, and that was probably the most fun.
Okay, so
game
who
of
won?
the-
Yeah, whose team?
Woo, Dan!
I almost didn't even make it on the scoreboard.
Let's hear it, everybody.
Allegedly, Dan
Yeah.
won. I still think my team won, honestly.
Dan, really?
No,
I'm
David's
choosing
team
to-
won before the scavenger hunt, and then after the count of the points from the scavenger hunt. my
And then
team
what
won.
happened?
How much was that scavenger hunt worth, you guys? I left them alone for 5 minutes to do the scavenger hunt, and I came back and we lost.
That's it. That's all it
Sorry.
took, David.
Wow.
It was awesome because people got super into it. Like,
People are competitive, man.
Yeah, and there was one point during the 3-legged race where there was a tie. It was Rick and it was David
versus-
and Rick.
and then Alex and Julian, I think.
And I know, of course, not you guys know Bella Julian, but for just to make it visually easy, everyone was over like 6'2". So it was like it was 2 teams and everyone was 6'2", and they were just going for it. Like they're like dragging each other like
long strides. Like they were like sprinting in 3-legged race form. Like it was like insane. It was wild.
It was super fun. And then at the end of it, they couldn't I can't remember if it was Dave's team or the other team. They couldn't stop themselves fast enough, and they just truck this girl who wasn't looking and just totally like
That definitely was not us. That was not me.
and then the other funny thing, our buddy Brendan and Davey, I don't know, you've seen them before, but might just not know the face off the top. He was like going so fast, he starts like dragging Davey, like she couldn't keep up, and he's like just going for it, and she's like almost falling, and he's like just like, come on. It was super fun. That was the highlight for me personally for the whole weekend. Even though like the shows were fun and other parts were fun, to me that was just like the coolest and like the most like, I don't know,
some good old fashioned fun with the gang.
Yeah.
Especially when you think nobody like
no, totally.
I was do this,
I was
and then
nervous.
everybody's like, "Fuck yeah!"
Oh, they were pumped.
Yeah, it
like
was
they
cool.
were
It was
like
really
so
cool.
into it.
It was a good day too. It was sunny. We like didn't get much rain. I feel like the whole festival. Either.
No, it was
It
not
didn't rain
rainy
at
at all. It was actually clear, and I think that's the problem with the Northwest. When it's clear out, it gets cold.
Cold as fuck. There's no clouds to hold the heat down.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's just like all the heat went away in the at night. It just like 28, 29 degrees.
Is it going to happen again?
What, Halloween stuff?
Maybe the
just
Olympics,
period.
but
We
I don't know.
anytime said
This year we are looking at a 90% chance of no.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, we can't get the dates we wanted at the fairgrounds. It's a big complication. It's right next to a racetrack, so all summer long there's races every weekend. And if you want to deal with the noises from all those engines, we just kind of can't put up with that.
Right.
yeah, we
Yeah,
can hear
would
music.
be. So it would just be like,
No, it's fine.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I mean, to throw it, it almost takes like 3 months of planning, and like it kind of takes away from like everything else to do with the band, like
All your focus has to go on.
Yeah, and
Well-
so we end up like then we're super far behind on booking the next tour.
And we have to like black out 6 weeks in either direction in the Pacific Northwest. Like we don't want to play Portland, Bend, or Eugene because we want to be able to sell those tickets. Like if people to come out and camp, and it's like basically we just have to like give up a lot in order to do this festival, and it's not worth the sacrifice this year.
But I will say we've said this every year we throw it.
That's true.
So-
yeah.
And then
Who knows? You know,
We'll see how camps does next year.
yeah, see at Kansas this year.
Is there something that you all do before you go on stage to get your mind right? Like something that Spunj does together, or is it an individual thing, or both?
We always do like a hoorah thing, or
Yeah.
we try where
Hands
everyone
in.
puts their hand in the middle, and we'll say whatever it is that night. It's usually a joke that was going on like that day. You
Okay.
know, like greasy burritos on 3.
Let's get tropical.
Yeah, usually just like a very dumb inside joke that like makes no sense at all. And then, I mean, I feel like sometimes Sage makes us do vocal warm-ups, which is helpful.
I'm a big
Definitely
stickler
very
on that.
helpful.
You know, like, oh, how I love to sing. That was really bad because I got nervous, but, you know, we do our arpeggios and,
we'll put some Melodyne on it.
we'll auto-tune that.
okay.
Sound like Akon.
Isn't Melodyne like where you could pull out individual frequencies from chords and stuff
Well,
like
it's
that?
basically like if you have a vocal track that you're like recording, and like you can just like take the whole vocal track and like move pieces around. So like if you were like off a little bit on that note, you can just like drag it down a little bit. So now it's like your voice is perfect. So it's like a digital
Oh,
chop up of the voice
shit.
track that you kind of use in the
shit.
studio process to make your vocal track perfect.
All I was going to say is it's not like a drastic change. Like it's pretty small movements with the vocals, with Melodyne. So it's not like using auto tune where you like can sing pretty much anything and it'll still be
on tune.
on tune. It's more just like small little adjustments that you can make.
That's cool.
It's like a post-production thing. It's not something you can use.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I
live.
remember when it was very first coming out, and I watched like this whole presentation with the guy that was making it. It's really dope.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with Marcelo from Family Mystic the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, we swore that we would never use Melodyne ever." And I
I
was
don't-
like,
I don't
yeah,
need to.
that makes sense. You guys are fucking perfect.
Yeah. Those
I love you
harmonies,
so
dude.
much.
Almost too perfect.
Yeah.
How do they
Investigate
do it?
family mystic.
All right.
They are blameless.
So now they've all listened to us for an hour and they're dying to come see Sponge, and they live on the East Coast or they live up here in the Pacific Northwest. Where do they go to find out when and where?
Well, I'm glad you asked. We have a website that has all of our dates. That's probably the most like straightforward, where you can just go and bam, just go into the tour tab and
www.spongemusic.com
With a J.
/tour.
yeah, SPUNJ.
Okay. And if they want to follow you on the gram
It is at _sponge
with a J.
with a J.
All right.
Wait, hold on. I got one last question.
Yeah,
This
let's
is-
keep
this is-
talking. We
this
got
is-
nothing to do.
Sage, be quiet.
missed
This
you
is
guys.
specifically for David. Just for
Wow.
David.
That's
And
right.
Oh damn! I
That's
feel
right, David.
so
One more.
special.
One
Wow.
more.
I just want
Well, now I'm nervous.
we all know you play in Spunj and everything, but I'm just wondering, how was your experience playing in the No Simple Road
Ooh.
holiday
Yes.
all-star fucking band?
That was amazing, man. It was really refreshing to play. It's been a minute since I played with like a bunch of other musicians that I don't normally play with, because I played in when I joined Spunj, I was in a couple other bands too that I'm not in any longer. But it was really nice to get some like fresh ideas from people. I had a blast, and thank you guys for having me be a part of that.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for being a part of it.
Yeah,
that
it was
was
so fun.
kick ass.
And that seemed to be the consent of everybody that night. By the end of it was like, that was so fun. And we figured like everybody knew each other because you're all
Yeah.
local bands. And
Yeah.
and that wasn't the case. We heard from everybody. It's like, I had never met them. I had never seen,
Yeah.
it was a lot of connections made, and everybody, it was amazing how
Yeah,
good
you-
you guys sound with very little rehearsal.
Well,
or
thanks so
anything.
much.
Yeah.
I think the only person I didn't know was Scott from Garcia Birthday Band. I'd never
Yeah.
met Scott before, but he's super great bass player.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It was I hope we get to do it again.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
well,
shit.
I hope you guys have me if you're
Yeah,
gonna do it
fuck yeah,
again.
man.
yeah.
Well, it was fun seeing
You're in.
It was fun seeing you play sax with Sean, you and Sean playing.
It's always
Oh my
fun
God.
playing with Sean.
Dude.
It's also been a long time since I played like a whole show on saxophone, because I play bass a lot now. So it was really like, it was nice to just play like a whole set of just saxophone. It's like made me feel like I was in college
That
again.
made me happy
Oh,
because
yeah.
I talked to you after, and then Scott from Lost Docs, and can't remember who else it was, but everybody said pretty much the same thing. Like it was just like a refreshing kind of thing to be out of their normal bands and to do something different, like exercise a different muscle, you know?
Yeah, you kind of like when you play with the same people, you obviously like know each other's playing so well, but you can also kind of fall into like ruts, like the same way
Yeah.
you can when you see somebody every day, and like you find like the same old routine of like getting up and like making breakfast or something. It's kind of like, just you fall into like little ruts with things when you know people so well, especially with me and Josh and Sage, because we live together, we work together, and we play in the
Yes.
band together. So it's like every waking moment of our lives is just the three of us.
Yeah, it's most positive, but it also needs to be spiced
it's
up a little
hard.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you spruce it up in the bedroom, guys.
Yes.
yeah, it's been getting a little boring.
A little stale.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The Butt Plug Tour 2024.
Oh my god!
We're doing it.
That's the new.
That's it. Butt plug on 3.
Butt plug tour.
All right, is that how we're gonna break the episode? Butt plug on 3.
More of an anal bead kind of guy
Before we
myself.
Let's have a
let's,
different-
let's start going
Yeah.
this way. It's 3 a.m. You guys are driving. You're driving on the highway. You've got to stop for gas, okay? And you're hungry. What's the thing that you're going into the gas station or the truck stop to get?
God, I don't know. It really, I don't know. Actually, that's a good one. I would say like, I'm a big pretzel guy.
Okay, there it is.
Pretzels.
Okay.
Sourdough pretzels.
Okay.
That was a tough one because it's always like what's there when I'm in the
That's
mood for it.
healthier than like
Yeah.
most people pick.
I don't know. I'm usually happy with like a Gatorade and like a Slim Jim and maybe like some Bugles. But I
Bugle.
Oh,
You
those are
always
great.
I'll fuck up some bugles right now too.
It's also like it's like regional too, because like sometimes you get snacks that aren't available in like other places
Right.
too. So like when I'm in the East Coast, got to get the Utz chips,
God damn,
best chips in the world. Just stuff like that. And I always got to get a Reese's of some kind, preferable to the Reese's sticks, but the cups are okay too.
Okay. All right. Good
I love
answer.
everything
Good answer.
Reese's.
Good answer.
Mine is usually my go-to would be like, so I have like a couple different go-tos. One of them may sound a little weird. It's a tuna fish sandwich and a barbecue corn nuts
From a gas station?
Yeah, the tuna. The tuna is sometimes good, but it doesn't like, or it's like an Italian sandwich. But if I'm like feeling like I don't want to be like full of like meat and cheese, like I'll get like a tuna fish sandwich. But
This doesn't even scratch the surface of the.
yeah, I'm
weird
kind of
things that
famous for
David eats.
weird shit. Because ever tried
like-
chocolate chip cookies and orange juice? I swear it's good, man.
It's actually not bad.
It's not bad.
You
Last
dip the chocolate chip cookies in the orange
In the
juice?
orange
Yeah, it's great.
The last time we were in Seattle for a recording, or sometime we were in Seattle for a recording, David was in my kitchen making a peanut butter and egg sandwich.
What?
No comment here.
Peanut butter and egg. Okay.
Yeah, no,
You
like
know what?
on purpose too. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah.
Oh, you gotta put onions on there too. It's like onion
Yeah.
eggs.
Oh my god.
It's like over medium egg, some grilled onions, and peanut
Mel
butter.
looks
It's good.
All
horrified.
right. That's it.
All right, man.
Well, I remember back in the
Far
day.
out,
Remember
bro.
that time we were all stoked.
I was waiting for more.
I eat like a pregnant woman.
Do you remember David may like this recipe? Remember when we made peanut butter and jelly burritos?
Yeah.
It was
That sounds good.
it was refried beans and cheese
That sounds
and
strange.
peanut butter and jelly mixed with it. Yeah.
How high?
I would try it.
We're
David, you've got a
pretty
great
high.
physique for how you're saying you eat.
Thank you. Well, I usually try to eat somewhat healthy, but I don't eat that weird all the time. But I did recently try a peanut butter and jelly burger at work.
Oh, that
sounds good.
It was.
It was really good, actually.
That sounds
I've never
bomb.
had the jelly, but I've tried the peanut butter burger or killer burger.
Oh, put some
killer-
pickles
the
on there
peanut butter
too?
pickle burger is great.
Yeah.
My mom was a trapeze artist in the circus.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
That explains so
that's
much.
real.
Uh-huh.
And traveled with Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey for a long time. Yeah, yeah. And
Wow.
flew on the trapeze
Real.
circus for a long time too. Anyway, when they were traveling with the circus, there wasn't a lot of money for food a lot of the time. And so I was raised on cornflakes with no milk and soft-boiled eggs mixed with the cornflakes.
What?
Yeah,
It's freaking awesome.
I can't talk
Really?
shit about peanut
I
butter,
didn't.
onion,
I
egg
didn't.
sandwich.
I never had that. I'd known him 40 years. Never had that till he moved up here, and he was making it years ago. I was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Dude, you never saw me do." And I was like, "Ew, gross." He's like, "Try it." Now I love it.
Really?
When he's
like
making, I was like, "You
No
make
kidding.
it?" Yeah, it's like toast in the bowl with your eggs on it.
And
Like, it's
I was
all in one
talking to my
dish.
mom,
It's
like
fucking
maybe
good.
this is maybe about 4 months ago. I was talking to my mom on the phone while I was making it, and I was like, "Hey, Mom, guess what I'm making right now?" And she's like, "I don't know." I said, "Cornflakes and eggs." She goes, "Ew, I remember having to eat that crap." I was like, "You used to feed that to me all the time." She's like, "I'm sorry."
It's
Still love
nostalgia,
it.
though.
Still
Yeah.
love it.
All right, Sage,
Sage, what is it?
bring us home.
I'm a big chip guy, so I mean, whether it's Doritos, jalapeno chips, the classic Lay's, I totally
No.
fuck that
Other
up.
people's
You see-
chips.
you
it
see
doesn't
Which
matter.
Doritos? Cool
I'll
Ranch?
Better say
honestly,
Cool Ranch, bro.
dude, I'll do the Cool Ranch, the
Okay.
nacho cheese. They got the spicy nacho.
Okay.
Kind of all the flavors. I'm not picky.
Now, you had a reaction to the chip brand that Dan said. from
It's
the
yeah,
East Coast.
I'm
so good.
not a fan at all.
Okay.
We had
I've
it
tried
when we
Wow.
went back there.
Did
when
we?
we were in Philly, yeah.
Okay.
Or not Philly, when we were in Scranton.
Scranton.
Scranton, Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, I know those places all too well.
Yeah.
I like the I'm a big Kettle brand too. So the
Okay.
Kettle
The Kettle brand chips are the
yeah,
shit.
I'll
They
fuck
are.
those up a bunch.
Mel, what are you getting at the gas station?
Am I getting at the gas station? Probably some like nuts or something like that. I don't really. I'm boring. Yeah, it's true.
I smell like when we're
I don't get
traveling,
that many.
Mel's already
I bring
got a-
my own
yeah,
snacks.
That's what I was just gonna
I
say.
bring my
Mel's
own
got
snacks.
snacks.
She's like, "You want an
galore."
apple? You want an
Yeah,
orange?"
I
We're the ones going
dude,
in.
I am
That's
because
smart.
I don't like to be relegated to what's out on the road for me. I want to bring my own choices. So I bring like I'll bring like trail mix. I'll make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'll like bring some fruit
This
and
is all true.
assorted stuff.
Okay.
And then,
Mom's got snacks.
I hook it up.
Tight.
I'd say mine's beef jerky.
Yep.
That's all. I like jerky all the time. Big
David
bag of
says that
jerky
too
when
a
you're on the
lot.
road lasts forever.
It just gets so expensive.
Hell
It's
yeah.
true. It's true.
$14 for a bag the size of my hand. There's like 4 pieces in there.
so
Like
wild.
especially, I especially love when you get with like the service state, like the big truck stop, and they have the fresh jerky. Like they make their own jerky.
It's
and
all
like,
from Roadkill,
it's like
bro.
18 different kinds of jerky.
Possum jerky.
Yeah, you don't know what that shit
And
is.
the one with the tail.
That's a scab
Yeah.
from some trucker.
Hey, I'll try anything once.
Gross.
Gnarly.
Maybe twice. Oh.
Delicious.
If I like it, 3 times.
So normally I don't like eat Doritos and stuff like that, but if we're on a road trip, that's my like hall pass to eat like shit. And so I'm going for Cool Ranch Doritos
There you go.
and the little donut, the donuts,
Yeah.
the crumb
Oh, yeah.
Crumb.
donuts and a coffee.
Okay.
And like in rotation, like Cool Ranch Dorito, donut, sip
Oh,
of
I
coffee.
see.
I don't think
Interesting,
we've ever
okay.
been on a road trip where you and Mel have not had a bag of the jalapeno kettle
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
chips.
those-
Yeah.
You guys
See,
are
there
always
you
fucking
go.
those
We get
up.
those a lot.
MVPs.
I can't touch those. Those
The
things
goat.
kill me.
So yeah, you can all tell that we're doing fucking Whole30. None of us had sugar or carbs or any of that
Well,
shit.
that's
Like,
why I
it's
didn't
all
come
I'm
down
thinking
to
about right now.
That's why I didn't come down to greet you guys because I was like not shaking, but like I had
Needed.
Fading.
no energy.
Can I ask what's going to be the first meal that you have when you're done with the
So-
We're ringing
sugar?
you now.
So we
Yeah.
finish the night we leave for Mexico for Fish Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So the first, I'm going to tell you right now, I already know. The very first thing that I'm going to have is a latte at the airport
And then
Oh,
and then a
okay.
churro.
and then a churro.
He said that
Get to
churro is
Mexico.
going to be so good in Mexico.
And you're gonna have a big old shit in that airport.
Oh,
You better believe it,
yeah,
Dan.
man.
He's going to miss his flight.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Aaron's gonna be holding onto the walls, just completely naked in the stall, sweating.
Oh, it was so good.
Fucking latte.
Oh hell no!
I'll tell you, the first thing I want is because you can't have anything that goes into it is chicken and waffles.
Oh,
I want syrup. I want fried
Alright.
That's one of the
chicken. I want
best.
a waffle.
Love
all
that.
butter. All that.
Yeah, you're going to be home for your shit, so it'll be all right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, get some screen door. And
Oh, man.
boom.
One of the things that blew me away about Fish Mexico last year, like it's the all-inclusive deal. So like you don't have to pay for shit, even in the restaurants.
oh really?
No.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. But everybody was like, don't worry about, like, it's hard to get reservations in the restaurant because it's filled with fish heads and everybody, whatever.
Takes their time.
Right. And everybody was like, don't worry about getting reservations in the restaurant. The food in the venue is awesome. And I was like, food in the venue? What are you talking about? When you walk in, lining the back of the venue is all these like stalls that have like Indian food and fresh churros and ice cream and tacos
What?
and burritos and steak and fucking.
We saw the dude from
Steak and a
Super
fish
Bloom
show?
there.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which
Probably
yeah, that's
Nate.
right, Nate. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
there.
The
He's there
pyramids.
every year.
Yeah, and like going in,
Nate,
like you just like, oh, I'll have some al pastor tacos, and I'll go stop over here and get fresh churros, and
Ooh, and they're fresh.
And it's
cut
just all
fruit.
free.
and it's all
Yes.
free,
Oh my
Yes.
dude.
God.
Just
All
help
right,
yourself.
Fish Mexico, we're doing
Oh,
it.
butter
Well,
chicken,
not
dude.
free.
Butter chicken?
You pay for the ticket.
Right, of course, it's included. My dad always says nothing's free; it's just included.
Yeah. That came with like the $4,000 you ponied up to be
Yeah,
there.
no shit. Yeah.
If I ever went, I would just have my whole suitcase full of just leftovers and food. I'd be bringing it back.
Do you have anything to declare? No.
But your food's really good here. That's what I declare.
Yeah, the canine,
free. I had to.
the canines are just like all over him.
Yeah.
The pork.
But they're hungry. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, go follow Spunj
_Spunj on Instagram.
and go to their website. And when they come through your town, buy your tickets in advance
That's right.
and buy merch from them.
That's
Absolutely.
right. Right?
Give us
And you
hugs.
guys-
And you know what? Bands accept tips. Nobody has ever said that, but they accept tips.
Mhm.
So if you are a tipping person, do it.
And I got to say too, Spunj always does a very good job on having dope merch, stickers, pins, like everything.
Yeah.
You guys always have cool stuff.
We actually
I'm
just
still
got
waiting
beanies.
for you to have
Oh, yeah?
my size in a tie dye, but eventually I'm going to come to the merch
What
booth.
color
There's gonna
beanies? I
be
want a
my
beanie.
size.
Are you
and
large
right-
or XL?
XL.
Oh fuck! I think we have no. We don't have an XL.
We'll get it done.
Yeah,
We'll get it
I
done.
know you guys will.
All right.
All right.
Everybody, you know what to do. And we're counting on you. Take care of the boys when they come through your town.
That's right. Show
All right.
them some love.
We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
But it's a burden. Family needs has been deferred, and hella means been the earth, and alchemy can bring the birth, the melody of a newborn. So persistent, so resistant, so insistent, so commitment, so resilient, or haven't you learned it? No simple road. 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 My windshield is shattered as I focus through the spot in the corner that is still intact. The react is both a defense mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A equal A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.